we have civil defence, and we've got Steve Brazier, who is one of the national controllers, who will talk to us about and give us an update on the city and on this area in particular. Welcome along, Steve.
Thank you, Nari. It's strange being here on such a lovely night and looking out at your buildings, which have been sadly broken, and there's a lot of strange things happening at the moment in Christchurch. I have to go into the middle of town quite a bit, and I never come back without feeling quite terrible. It's incredibly sad what's happened to Christchurch, and having been brought up here and gone to school and worked here for many years, it's bizarre and sad. And I can't imagine what you're going through, those of you that live here and have to face the sight of your town damaged like this. So I'll talk to you about where we are briefly, and then I can answer questions later on. There's probably a lot of stuff you need to know. There's a lot of stuff we've told you already, but if you come up the end, just ask me whatever you need answers for. Clearly, the emergency of the immediate response is over. Conditions haven't stabilised enough in Christchurch to let us lift the state of national emergency. That's been extended through until the end of March 31st. In the centre, we're making progress towards recovery. Those of you in the press this morning would have seen that the name of the Recovery Commissioner was announced, not officially, but pretty accurately, unofficially. So Martin Dunn will be in probably in a couple of weeks, and John Hamilton and I will hand over to him the issues of recovery, which are quite complex, as you imagine. At the moment, we're transitioning towards that point. And what we're after in this period is to manage the well-being of residents, which means establishing reliable services to sewerage and water and power and all those things. And we're pretty well there in most areas, most categories, except around Bexley and the eastern suburbs, which things are just really bad, and it's going to take us a while to get the sewers sorted out in particular. Water we can get through by going across ground. Power's on. Sewage is going to take a while, and that's difficult for them. EQC assessments, Reid will talk to you later on about those. They're ongoing, they're doing a massive push. Accommodation, which is housing, obviously, we've got some short-term, some medium-term, some long-term ways of fixing those there. Again, short-term is pretty rough and ready, medium-term looks a bit better, longer-term will probably mean for some people moving from where they're living now, because the ground has sunk and it's getting pretty wet. Welfare ongoing, yeah, and they're busy, and they'll talk to you about what they've been doing there. We're just reducing the cordoned areas quite a bit, and that announcement's coming out this afternoon. We're shrinking down towards the core bit in the middle. We just can't get much smaller. It won't be particularly a neat looking square at the end of it. We've nibbled in the edges, and we've done the best we can to get access in. What's holding us back is that some of those areas are very dangerous. I was through this morning, and there's bits where the buildings are sort of crumbling. We put in a lot of various containers to hold back the rubble if it heads towards the street, and often you see more bricks on the top of containers than they were there the day before. So it's not safe, and I know people are trying to get back into their businesses, and we're trying to get them there, and it's very hard for us to tell them that it's just too dangerous, and we have to be very careful. What we're also doing is getting ready the processes for getting the city up and running again. And that's going to take a lot of hard work by a lot of people, Christchurch people and Wellington people, and a lot of money. The money will be there. We're not a rich country, but we can certainly afford to get Christchurch up and running again. That's just what we'll do. So it's been a very tough 4 weeks. The community spirit and the people's willingness to help each other has just been amazing. I've been in the art gallery now since the day after with John. We got down here on the day after the earthquake. And I have to say, in that time, I haven't heard any dissension, any harsh words, any arguments. It's been just amazing. At times we've had 3,000 to 4,000 people working there, and they're working long hours. We've just stopped doing 24 hours a day. We're into about 15 or 16 hours a day. But not once have I heard anybody arguing or disputing. A lot of tense people. It's just been amazing, the focus and the dedication that those people have shown. I know that it's shown out in the community as well. It's not a very good way to bring people together, but I can assure you they are together and they're working very hard. So we're quite a way down the track. We're not there yet. In fact, I reckon probably it's not going to take decades to fix Christchurch, and I was sort of narrowing it down. We first got here, and you know this better than I would, the first sites we faced, we thought this is going to take decades to fix. And the centre of town is pretty well wrecked, a lot of those streets. It's hard to see a building that isn't damaged beyond repair. But I'm thinking somewhere between 3 and 5 years we'll be up and running. You'll have the centre of town back, it'll look good, and we'll make this into the best city in the world. No reason why it can't be. That's the goal. And Bob Parker would have told you the same, and it's not just rhetoric, it's a goal.